Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Premier League predictions. We have not done these in a while, and you know it's always football season. Number one, when the Premier League is back, because they start around the same time that college football starts. But also, when you're giving these predictions for these games, it overlaps with college football. So, with that being said, you guys on Fridays are going to get a lot of content. You're getting at least 2 videos per day, possibly 3 if we do a Madden franchise rebuild, and we will release those on Fridays. But Fridays is going to be jam-packed, so hit that subscribe button. Obviously, if you guys are into Premier League, college football, NFL, all of that stuff, hit that sub button, leave a like, comment, all of that stuff. But with today's first video of the day, 2 videos for today. As always, we are talking the NBA schedule in the next video just because it came out. We're going to break down the Pelicans, talk about the Hawks, maybe a little bit of the Warriors, and talk about which games are key for this NBA season as well. But before we do all of that, we have some Premier League predictions to go over as well. Let's go ahead, hop right into week number 1 of the Premier League season. The first game of the Premier League season, as we're hopping right into it, is Man United versus Fulham. Man United taking on Fulham at home here at their place. I believe Orchard Park is where they play. But Manchester United last year, they came in 3rd place behind Man City and Arsenal. And obviously, it's going to be a fun game. This Fulham team is looking to kind of build off of last year. They had, I believe, about 52 to 55 points in that range last year. So they definitely won some games. But this year, it's about taking it to the next level in the Premier League. And they can start with that if they get a win here at Manchester United. Now, again, I don't think they are going to get a win at the Derby. The Derby is one of the toughest places to play in the Premier League. It's one of the Premier League's most prestigious stadiums in the sport. So, Man United will get the dub here today at home at 2 o'clock. Moving on, you got our Saturday games here. First game is Ipswich Town, I believe, against Liverpool, hosting Liverpool. Now, again, Liverpool kind of falling off towards that last year, right? They were, I believe, in the title race with like 2 weeks left of the regular season. And then they just dropped to 5th place from last year. So they are in a huge, they're kind of in motivation mode right now for Liverpool, which is why, again, Ipswich Town, one of the newcomers to this Premier League. I don't even know where they are from. I believe Germany is what it sounds like. But Liverpool looking to do the same thing that they always do. Come out strong out of the gate. They're going to win this game out on the road as well. Moving on, you got Arsenal taking on the Wolves. And I always remember this game from last year as being a blowout for Arsenal. So I'm going to predict that one to be a blowout for Arsenal as well. Again, Arsenal being the number 2 team in the Premier League last year is definitely going to play a factor in this game for Wolves. Wolves looking to kind of build off of last year. Last year they almost got relegated, but they had about 41 points or so. That last final 3-week stretch right there is kind of what kept them in the mix to not get relegated last year. So with that being said, Wolves are definitely looking to step it up, but I do think that Arsenal is going to get the dub, especially at home against this Wolves team. Moving on, you got Everton taking on Brighton at home. This game is going to be interesting. Number one, I do believe Brighton, was in kind of the top 6 or 7 spots in the Premier League standings last year. Then you look at Everton, they almost got relegated. So they're just looking not to get relegated again this season, which is why I think Brighton should, in fact, get this win at home to start the season out 1-0. Moving on, you got Newcastle taking on Southampton at home. Southampton, one of the worst teams in the Premier League last season, which is why I think Newcastle is going to get the dub here. Newcastle being top 5 in the Premier League last season and in the Champions League last year makes sense as to why they're going to get the dub again at home against one of the worst teams in the league possible. Moving on, you got Nottingham Forest taking on Bournemouth, 2 of the teams where I have nothing that I don't really know about. Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest, they were kind of even last year. They both had about the same amount of points last year. One was ahead of the other, which is why I got to give the edge to Nottingham Forest in this one. It's at home for Bournemouth, or for Nottingham Forest. Against Bournemouth, yes, I know they were ahead last season when it came to the final standings-wise, but I do think that with that said, Nottingham Forest should take this win at home to start the season out 1-0. Moving on, you got West Ham taking on Aston Villa. This is going to be one of the better games of the year. West Ham was a really solid team all around last year. So was Aston Villa. Aston Villa came in the top 10 in Premier League standings, so they're looking to build upon that for this next season, which is why I think they're going to start out hot on the road against West Ham in London. It's going to be a fun one, but Aston Villa is going to get the dub here. Moving on, you got Brentford taking on Crystal Palace. Two of the teams there that were kind of in the middle of the pack when it comes to Premier League standings last year. Last season, two of those two teams right there were teams you wanted to watch out for. Man City almost lost to Crystal Palace last year, and Brentford played them pretty well as well. So this game is going to be about as even as it comes here, but I got to give the edge to Brentford, as I think they will take the win here. If they don't, then it will definitely be a tie. Moving on, you got what I think is the game of the week this week, and it is, of course, on Sunday in primetime. Chelsea hosting the defending champions, Manchester City. We got to come out the gate for this one. Chelsea's place is going to be rocking this year. I think Chelsea's going to be a top 5 team in the Premier League this season. What they showed us in the preseason game, now again, it is the preseason game in the United States, but we played the majority of our starters versus they also played the majority of our starters. But if they play like they played in the States, then they're not going to have a chance in heck to win this game. But I think Man City's going to come out the gate. I think Haaland's going to get a couple early goals. Then you're going to get some from De Bruyne. This whole team, even with the loss of Alvarez and I believe Stones as well this offseason, is still going to be very, very good. So, with that said, give me Man City as we walk into Chelsea taking a 3-0 dub. And then last but not least, we have Leicester City taking on Tottenham. Give me Tottenham here. I believe last year was kind of a fluke for Tottenham as well. I believe they kind of fell off last season, if I'm not mistaken. But this year, they look to be one of the top 6 or so teams in the Premier League. So with that said, Tottenham's going to come out the gate. They're going to come out hot on the road, and Leicester, give me Tottenham here as they will get the win. Of course, that is where I'm going to cut it for today's video. Once again, if you have not already, be sure to like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Like I said, 2 videos today. We're talking NBA schedule next. We're going to get that video done for you guys as well. Of course, if you're into Premier League stuff, hit that subscribe button. We'll talk about that every single Friday, as well as college football predictions. So, if you're into college football, Premier League, all of that stuff, hit that sub button. Leave a comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching. And, of course, I will see you all in the next video. Peace.